All right, everybody, here we're here. It's time. And he's got a lot of games on the Wii. He's playing it on Wii Virtual Console, which is a question I asked him, which makes sense now that he didn't answer me.
What?
How
I
you
did
doing,
answer you.
Quo? You gave me a weird answer. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, CJ?
I'm doing good. I'm ready. What is the secret game?
All right, the game is scroll to. Why is this upside down? That's crazy. All right, let's scroll to page 2. Oh my god, one sec. Oh, it's not upside down anymore.
Get a lighter.
It's actually not on page 2. It is a GameCube game.
Okay.
This game was heavily based on the Diablo series.
What?
Diablo, the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is sort of Nintendo's answer to it. Any guesses from chat? Hey, you Pikachu, not on the GameCube.
Does anyone see some dancing pixels on the RTMP? Is that just
I
me?
noticed that in Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
I thought that was his stream, but not mine.
No, it's weird. It's like on our side.
All right, well, guys, I will introduce you to this year's mystery game.
Okay.
I hope you're all excited for the return.
Nintendo.
It's Animal Crossing.
Oh. Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
The one for the 64?
Yeah, well, GameCube, but...
Well, yeah. Oh, what category are you doing for us today?
We are doing all debts? Yeah, Diablo. So this game was based on Diablo. I will talk about that during the introduction. But we are doing all debts, so we will be paying off the entirety of our house in about 45 minutes. Maybe 47,
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
So time starts when I press start. So if we're ready on time, 3... Should I run a timer? Nah, we'll just test this game. 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is Animal Crossing, and we are starting off with a fresh file. So KK's playing the his guitar there. So yeah, the history of this game. So this was originally for the Nintendo 64 in Japan only, known as Dobutsu no Mori or something along those lines. Originally, it was going to be Nintendo's sort of like answer to Diablo, which I mentioned before. There was going to be 4 separate islands, 1 for each season. There was going to be like a huge story. You could recruit animals. They wouldn't really have personalities, but they could help you out, like on your quests when you're adventuring and stuff like that. And then the Nintendo 64 DD got cancelled, and because the Nintendo 64 is not that powerful, they had to scrap a lot of stuff. They scrapped 3 of the islands. They're just gonna have 1 island now. They scrapped the entire story, so this game doesn't have a story, right? If you played Animal Crossing, you know that. And then they just started adding stuff to the game and figuring all that stuff out. Then that game got ported to the GameCube, and then that game got released in the West after it was translated, and then that game was ported back to Japan. There are actually 4 versions of this game, but we are playing on the English one, obviously. Everyone's taking notes?
I mean, I am, yeah.
Alright, so, again, this is based on an N64 game, which is why if you compare to, like, other games that were released at launch for the GameCube, you have, like, Melee, Luigi's Mansion, Metroid Prime, they're all, like, very nice, and then you look at Rover, who you can, like, count the polygons on. That's sort of why. The game also helps... I should be answering yes to all these, because it is slightly faster, but whatever. The game also limits to, like, 16 colors per model, so if you haven't noticed that yet, I hope I didn't break your immersion there. And this is our guy. Alright, it's runnable. So in case you haven't played this game in a while, this game is based on grids, so there's a 6x5 grid of your town, and everything is just thrown around in different places in the grid. But again, because of N64 limitations, they sort of had to do that. There are 2 random aspects of, you know, if this run is going to be good or not, which is a big part of the first part of the run, which is the chores. So once you buy your house and you don't have enough money, Tom Nook sort of takes you under his wing and lets you pay off your debt. So the first part is doing the chores. And Tom Nook's shop can be either in A1, A2, A4, or A5. and we just want it to be in A2 or A4 because that's faster. Whoops, no! Alright, well,
Oh, what happened?
I said no, and I should have said yes.
Oh no, time loss!
Time loss. Alright, well, we get more time to explain. So we want Tom Nook to be in either A2 or A4, and then the post office can't be beside Tom Nook. It can be in either A1, A2 or A3, A4, depending on where Nook is. We want that to be in the other one of A2 or A4. We're probably not going to get it. It's a 25% chance, but just keep that in mind. This is the early reset point. Alright, one thing that Tom Nook mentions here is that he gives you the tape deck for free because he could not sell it in his shop. That's going to come up later.
It will?
It will!
Alright, that doesn't seem pertinent, but here we are.
Alright, so we give him 1,000 bells, and then he laughs at us for being poor. But to shove it in his face, we are going to pay off his entire house in about 40 minutes.
Yeah, he's like a loan shark.
So, you think that, but also consider that he will paint the roof of your house for the price of about 4 ladybugs.
So he's not a very good loan shark.
No, alright, so we're going to check the map to see if we have a good town. We're going to press the A button to check the map. Alright, that looks fine. So there's a screen capture program, which is what I just used, and I wasn't focused on it, so it took me an extra second. So the first part of the run is just walking around, meeting your neighbors, and I'm going to try to make a mental map of where everyone is. So Buzz is on the left. Oh, this map is actually sort of good, other than the post office being far, and Tom Nook being far. But, like, the house layout is good. Whatever. That's fine. So right now I'm just half looking at the screen and mostly looking at the map, so if I run into things... Ooh, cute pond. Oh my goodness. Alright, so one of the really cool things about this game, in my opinion at least... Where is it? Where am I? Oh my god, I'm lost. Who the heck? This is so weird. So one of the cool things about this game, basically, the size of the game is much smaller than you'd imagine. So because there's the real-time clock, you know, this one runs off the GameCube clock, and that's fine. But on the N64, there was no clock on the N64. So they actually had to put the clock in the game cartridge. So this game originally was about half the size of Ocarina of Time, just as a comparison. A very small game. It was also missing a lot of stuff. It didn't have a lot of holidays. Tortimer did not exist. There was no museum. It was a pretty watered down version. And this is sort of like a weird game because, like, what do you really classify this game as, right? And this was, again, in 2001. Why are you... Stella, where are you? Thank you. Okay. So this was in 2001.
Stella! Sorry.
The genre of simulation did not exist yet. So, okay, if simulation's out, like, what do you call this game, right? The genre? Do you have an answer, CJ?
Well, that's clearly Donkey Kong.
No, the genre of the game.
Oh, it's a roguelite.
No.
I tried.
I don't know if that one existed. Ooh, Paul. Yeah, either. The genre of this game was considered a communication game.
What?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you Pikachu?
No. What? No. So it's like, and that's, ooh, big bear in the corner. It's like, how do you, like, again, it's Animal Crossing. How do you define it? There's no story. There's no, you know, what are you even doing? Which is one of the reasons why the developers were sort of worried that it wouldn't sell, which I'll get back to that later. But yeah, it's a communication game, and the idea is that you're meant to communicate with either villagers or also the multiplayer aspect. So one of the big things they wanted to be sure in this game was that you could sort of play, quote, multiplayer, sort of in a way that, like, not your typical multiplayer games where 2 people can play at once, but more asynchronously, right? And the idea was like, okay, if I'm like a Japanese businessman, because Japan obviously, and I don't have time to play with my kids, well, I can still play with them in like that same sort of idea, right? They play during the day, I play at night after they've gone to bed, etc. So that was sort of the idea, and why things like bulletin boards and like sending letters were all a thing, because your guys, your villagers cannot read the letters. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, so that was sort of the idea of like communication and sort of building out this small community.
I do have a question for you
Yes.
regarding the game size. I've heard this, and I don't know if this is true or not. Is it true that you can? This is a game. The game is so small, you could take the disc out of the GameCube, and as long as you didn't turn the GameCube off, you could keep playing it.
Absolutely. I actually saw this run done at AGDQ, I think in 2014, and they showed that off like live on GDQ.
That's pretty.
Which
cool.
was funny. All right, so Bunny's gonna talk to us about the sale, or no, general mechanics and stuff. So one thing about this game was like, again, the developers weren't sure if this was gonna sell well. And when they released this game in Japan, again on the N64, it was really late. Like this was after Majora's Mask, after Mario Party 3, after I can't think of other really late games that were mentioned. But it was really late. It was in 2001, which, you know, the GameCube was announced in 2001, and I think released, or maybe it was 2002. Anyways, right, really late in the cycle. Weren't sure if this game was going to sell, and it sold about 30,000 copies in its first week, which is like all right. Like it's nothing special. And then that game sort of just like caught fire, and like reviews were coming in, and everyone was like, we can't explain why. I do not remember where Pena lives. That's fine. We can't explain why this game is good, but you need to play it. Which honestly, if I need to explain like how this game is good, like you go around digging up trees and planting flowers and talking to like it's hard to explain, right? But the reviews caught on, the game's caught on, and people like it. When E3 came in 2001, there was a whole like, this is what the GameCube's going to be, and it starts with Melee and like the opening cutscene, and everyone's popping off, and it shows off Luigi's Mansion, and like people are excited, and then oops, we need to actually write the letter to Petunia. Great letter. And then Animal Crossing comes, and the room sort of like is silent. And then Metroid Prime comes on, and people start cheering again. So people were like, you know. Like, you can't really put a word to it, and it's hard to explain why this game is fun, but for anyone who's played it, or any iteration in the future, it's a good game. Alright, I did promise I would talk about the mail, but then I didn't talk about the mail. So I'll talk about the mail now. Your animal villagers cannot read. They're not that smart. Again, N64 game. The way that it sort of figures out if your letter is good or not is it sort of takes 3 letters at a time and sort of checks them to see if these are games that, not games, names that sort of make sense, right? So one sec, we just need to do a favor, so we're gonna ask Filbert. Alright, so we're gonna accept this request, and then we're not gonna do it, and that counts. So yeah, it takes 3 sets of letters at a time, and it sort of guesses on if that is a good word or not, and it also checks for spaces and punctuation. Stella, wasn't she far? So sometimes you'll write words and your animal villager will be like, this is not a word, but it actually is a word. So one of them is actually unnatural, which is funny. Stella's there, Petunia's there, all right. So because UNA isn't seen in a lot of words, the game just pretends that that's not a real word, and your animal villager is going to be very confused about that, right? And this game a couple of years ago was reverse engineered to figure out how that works, and the best letters that you can write to your villagers is capital A period space, capital A period space, capital A period space. If you want to ruin your immersion, that is the best letter you can send your villager if you're looking for like gifts or something.
Shulia and chat had a question, and I have a donation. So which one would you like first?
Question first.
All right, the question from chat is, can I ask what made you want to pick this one up? Sorry if you explained it already. I missed some audio.
I did not explain it already. I sort of wanted to run it, and this was just a good opportunity to. Also, I explained this to CJ earlier, but whenever I pick a mystery game, I always have like 2 or 3 that I have my eyes on. Or I pick one and then I look for others with similar estimates. And this one just happened to fit in that. Actually, I think I originally wanted to do this one, and then I looked at other games too, but this one was just a good one, you know?
I like the strategy, by the way.
Where's
I like the idea. We just got $30 from Mama CJ. Love me some Quo and CJ. 92.9 The Blend, returning to your radio station.
Thanks,
Also,
Mama
I gotta
CJ.
say, yes, thank you, Mom. I gotta say, I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but I feel like Potato likes Filiberta or Filbert.
I could see
And
it.
yeah,
Wait,
I feel like
Dilbert, never mind, I was thinking of Dilbert, like the cartoon.
no, he loves Dilbert. We know that. That's why I'm saying he likes
Oh.
Filbert.
Wait,
The
Dilbert or
Animal
Filbert?
Crossing. Filbert, the villager.
Oh, I don't know him.
You just spoke to him a little bit ago.
Oh, did I? Oh, the squirrel.
Yeah,
I don't read their names.
Filbert. What do you mean you don't read their names? Are they different every time?
Yeah. And then I don't read their
Really?
names, and then I'm confused as to what. Yeah, no, your town is just auto-generated each time.
Oh, okay? So every time you do a run, you have different villagers.
Yep, and different town layout.
How many different villagers are there?
Oh, I don't know. A lot. And they
All
keep
right.
adding them every new game.
So I mean, in this game,
I don't remember. I wish I could tell you.
CC says there's like 100.
That sounds about right.
Hmm.
Coco's in this game. I like Coco.
Okay.
Alright, so we're done the chores. Oops, no, we have to talk to Nook first. We're done the chores. Everything's good. And now we can start paying off our house. So there's one aspect in this game, I guess a mechanic, and that's codes. So you can input a code to Nook, and he will give you an item. So you can use it for like catalog items, like if you want a, I don't know, kitty bed to fill out your kitty set, which is very colorful. I like the kitty set. You can do that. In this game, in this case, we are going to... One sec. All right. Chores are done. There you go. We're going straight back in. And in this case, we're going to fill out a code to get enough to pay off the first debt. So it's going to be $30,000. And it is 2, 1, capital M, 1, X, S, 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 capital S, S, excellent. All right, so you're winning this from random place. There's actually a better code to use. It's a lot more intrusive, not intrusive, implicated. No, there's a lot more like stuff to do instead of just writing a bunch of S's. And it ends up that where it says you're winning this for gibberish, that specific code sort of glitches out the text box, and it kills all audio for the game, like all the background audio, I guess, for the game. Oops, we're also going to drop those. And that makes loading times a lot faster, and it saves about 10 seconds over the run, but I, first of all, didn't learn the code because it's a lot more implicated. And second of all, the audio is pretty good, so.
Can I jump in with another donation?
Go for it.
We just got $20 from Adventure_Potato. Petunia-chan, my beloved, Filbert is okay. And that went towards Chameleon Twist all levels. And that means that we're only $95 away. Crazy Calv is rating with a party of 7. Wow.
Yo, let's go.
Let's go, Calv. Yeah, so I gotta say, just really quick, I know that there's some visual soup going on screen, but I don't feel like it detracts from the visual quality of the game somehow. So we're just letting it ride.
There you go.
Yeah, so thank you for pointing it out to me, people, but this is just one of those visual things that we're gonna have fun with. It kind of makes it look like you're in the Matrix sometimes.
All right, so we're gonna buy a tape deck from the catalog. And he was complaining about not selling it. So one thing with codes, so we saw a code for $30,000. You can only put 3 codes per hour, so this entire run is not just coming back and saying codes. So what are our second and third codes going to be? Because if you look at the estimate, oh my god, what is... we don't have enough time to get more than a few codes. Our second one is going to be a modern table. And our last code for the run is going to be... Let's see... Oops. No! The accent. That would have ruined everything. The autumn medal. Now I know where you're wondering. Why?
That's
a good question. Yes. Yeah. We'll get to that, don't worry. But first, we need to do something important, and that's wait for the tape deck, so we're going to save and quit.
Got it.
So because we paid off the first debt, we need to change dates. We need to change it by at least one day. We're actually going to go to the past, and this is for one specific reason, and that is, as time goes on, Tom Nook might upgrade his shop, and if he upgrades his shop, he gets a sliding door, and that wastes time. So we're going to the past, not the future. But it still counts as a different day, so we can still pay off our debts.
Okay. I think I'm getting it.
There you go. In other categories, so I did Goldenrod at Speed Doxathon, Dox CKS. No! One sec, I need to restart the game. And my Wii's all the way over here. Last time I did Goldenrod, we changed backwards because we didn't want weeds in the town, because weeds was important for fish actually spawning. Because if your town is not well kept, fish might not spawn. Alright, really important. That clock. 1 September. But yeah, so in Goldenrod, fish don't spawn if you have too many weeds, so that's why you go backwards. In this case, it's we do it so that we don't lose time at Tom Nook. Alright, so we have a tape deck. Do you remember? Well, it's the 6th of September. So we got a second tape deck. We have a modern table, we have an autumn medal. What are we going to do, CJ, with all this stuff?
We are going to make one bitchin' house party.
There you go. So we ought to set up the house party.
Is that real?
No, but we are going to remodel the house a bit.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah. Alright. So we're just going to, I do need to concentrate a bit for this one. So do, forgive my not answering chat. No!
I do love this one-room house that we live in. It's somehow bigger than Chuli's house.
It is.
And Chuli's house has a basement she doesn't go in.
It has spiders.
It does have spiders. That 7-legged spider that survived Nam. Or whatever she said.
Alright, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I will explain it in due time. That doesn't go there. That would be silly. Oh, I need my autumn metal back. No. That's awkward. I was supposed to land on the table. Normally you're not supposed to land on tables because the game is not fun. But you can do whatever you want because it is your town and you get to choose how you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
This is some Shadow Realm Yu-Gi-Oh stuff you're doing right now.
Yeah, a tiny bit. All right, so if you have not caught on what's going on, this is a whole setup for a duplication glitch. As you can see, I am setting up a lot of medals on tape decks specifically. Then one last one for fans. That looks about right. So when I go in here, without my modern table, there should be 5 setups of duplicated autumn medals, and they are here. Now, so we picked the modern table because we need any table that's 2x1. So the modern table is just a long table. And then the autumn medal sells for 14,000 each. So that is sort of how we're going to be paying off a lot of the rest of our debts. Because we can duplicate these.
All right, so you duplicated these medals.
Yes. Currently duplicating.
Yeah.
So every time I pick one, it'll just respawn next time I enter the house. Or actually, specifically next time I reload the room.
Okay. So you've done this glitch. We're 25 minutes in. How many times do you have to duplicate?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times? Something like that.
Okay. I'm glad that our man, the Goose King, can hear.
Wait, who's that?
Rickle.
Oh, yes, the King of Goose.
Yes.
How many times? Yes. All right, we do need to leave and re-enter just so that Nook sort of figures out that we paid our house off instead of just inviting us to the Happy Home Academy. And then he tells us that we owe him money.
Not money.
Yes. You actually need to pay for things.
Lame.
Oops.
Man, you can really count the pixels on his face.
Oh, yes.
He looks a little fuzzy.
Again, it is an N64 game. Granted, my upscaling setup is not the greatest. But, yeah. Alright, so we're going to drop 2 bags. We're going to pick them up later. Unfortunately, the post office is very far from the shop, so we sort of just... We'll be trekking a bit, but that's fine. Nope. What? I have one job and I can't do it. I'm pressing wrong buttons all the time.
I'm like, you have the money.
Alright, so paid off the second debt. We're in a fist pump the air. Now he's going to give us an option to upgrade, and we're going to do the basement first, just because it's a bit better for us. Which you'll see why later. Nice dragonflies.
I miss Animal Crossing. COVID was awful, but man, if we didn't all stop whatever we were doing for a few months and play Animal Crossing.
Yeah, we did do that. I did not time travel and I still have 300 hours in that game.
That game was messed up because, you just sank so much time into it, but the game was would literally be like, you cannot go any farther today. You have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, I have nothing to do all day. I'm stuck at home playing Animal Crossing. It's like one of the only times I fell asleep playing my Switch.
So it's funny you should mention that. So that is actually one of the design philosophies of this game, is that they want you to be able to pick it up for 15 minutes and put it down and keep coming back day after day. And that was especially a big thing during the game's development, because you know, if you think of other games, they're like very large, very expansive. Like what Final Fantasy VII came out like 2 years earlier, right? Think of that. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, all on Nintendo consoles. So it was really like shocking when they designed a game that you don't play for that long, but something that you would want to come back to, right? So
This character does not work in this orientation. He kind of looks like a Naruto villain, like with the big hole in the middle of his face.
Yeah, damn.
I just realized that he's a bird.
He is an eagle.
Yeah. No, didn't get that. They did my man no favors.
Listen, times were different. So now that we have a basement, we can reload the room a lot faster, so we just go down and back up. And we have medals again. One like weird quirk about this game is that this only works because there are no songs in the tape deck. If you ever put songs in the tape deck, it won't work. Things won't duplicate. I'm not sure what the logic is behind that, but that's how the game works. I'm sure someone with more knowledge would be able to tell you. One random fact about this game. So this game was localized from Japanese to English, obviously, and there's this whole like, it's called Treehouse, the localization team at the time, which eventually came Nintendo Treehouse, and they just do other stuff. But first of all, there's a couple of cool people that worked on it. So Bill Printon, for example, worked on the localization of this. Leslie Swan, who is also known as being the voice of Princess Peach in a lot of games, worked on the translation of this. And obviously it's a big game because it's like mostly text. One sec, I'm just reading. Okay, yeah, so it is mostly text. So they had to obviously work a lot on that. But one of the things of the localization that I found funny, at least, was that some of the items had to be created because this was going to be like for a Western audience, not a Japanese audience. And specifically, like the barbecue, they had a lot of trouble with because in Japan they don't have barbecues. So it took a lot of they didn't go in depth, but it took a lot of revisions of the barbecue to actually get it right for what an actual barbecue looks like.
Yeah, I guess it never occurred to me that that's just not something that transcends the world, just the concept of a barbecue.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I recall a couple of years ago there was a 5 tape deck setup that was found. Not found. You just pay off the first debt and then you have a bigger house. You can do that. Gonna drop all our cash there. Was that all of them? Yes. So there were a couple of other like localizations things. So first of all, there's a lot of like holidays now that were not in the original games. In the original game, actually on Nintendo 64, there actually wasn't even a mayor. Tortimer didn't exist, and the characters would just go to the wishing well. There was also no museum. I forget. I think I mentioned that.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, but no Tortimer. So they go to the wishing well, and again in Japan, the wishing well. Oh wait, no. Ooh, we do this first. We want to pick up bags. So in Japan, it's not a wishing well, it's actually a shrine. And that makes a lot more sense as to why like all the holidays happen at the shrine. Instead of like the wishing well, which like if you go to any city, you're not out there looking for, you know, a wishing well. It's not the site you go to see. But they sort of picked something that worked, and it sort of did. So it's fine. But yeah, that's why it's a wishing well. And that's why you can talk to it, because it's actually just a Japanese shrine. Alright, so there is a reason why we picked up the 15 medals before saving. That will come up later. Don't worry about it yet. No, we're not gonna demolish a house. He's not gonna do it. Oh, it's raining. It's fun. Alright, once again, we're gonna sell. And we actually don't have enough to pay off the debt right now. But if you've been keeping track, we have been just dropping money on the ground, and the villagers are very nice to not pick them up. So we are going to withdraw everything except one bag. Leave one for later. And now we have enough. Oh, there's a tent! I just want to see what's inside. This is huge. Pom-pom, amazing. Alright, sorry.
It's okay, I believe in you.
It wasn't anyone cool. Pom-pom was alright, though. Alright. Get off. We'll talk Nook for an upgrade quick. And because we're cool, we're even gonna change the color of our house. Just the roof, though.
Ooh.
Do you have a color in mind?
Can we pick pink?
Sure. There's a lot of colors. Pink is one of them. I just need to not mash.
I do like colors.
Alright, color roof pink. I promise there's pink. Pink! Alright, so this is the last upgrade. So once we pay it off, we'll be done. That'll be it.
Wowie zowie.
This is not a reflection of real life because you cannot pay off houses in real life.
That's true. That's true. Yes.
Where is this village? It's an unnamed continent, but allegedly all the villages are on the same continent because they can be reached by train. Which is sort of like a really weird experience because it's, I don't know, like, did you ever go to like a different village in the GameCube Animal Crossing game?
No.
No? Okay. I guess it's the same with the newer ones, but you go and it's like, it's the same shopkeeper, but he doesn't know you. It's the same guy at the train station, but he doesn't know you. But like,
yeah,
everything else is different, but like very similar. It's uneasy. Yeah, exactly. Nurse Joy moment. Alright. So, earlier we grabbed 15 medals and then we saved. That's pink-ish. And the reason was when they expand the room, they sort of move the medals. So now it's just a bit slower to get to them. So that's why we grabbed them and then saved and then the house upgraded. So that is your Animal Crossing fact for the day.
I do like Animal Crossing facts. I just want to let you know, you've given us many facts. That was not the one.
Oh, that's true. Dang.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
I hope your brain is filled to the brim with Animal Crossing facts by now.
Fill my brain.
Other facts, there are like 500 sound effects in this game. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Also, the way that their language Animalese is generated, it really is generated like per character. It was made by... I'm reading a book right now about Animal Crossing, which is why a lot of these things are just coming up.
Okay.
And I'm still fuzzy on the details because I have not read this chapter very far, but it's like the wife of one of the sound design guys that made like about 50 sounds, and then they sort of just like changed it to like add inflections at some places and add like when someone asks a question to be different, so that it's really like they're speaking almost English, like a very similar thing to English but not quite English.
English famously hard to duplicate.
Especially in the N64.
Yeah. You know, if the game had voice acting, it would just be the best game ever made.
Yeah.
That's all it needs. Is
All it
real
needs.
voice act-
Alright, we're gonna drop our money more. I could have done it there, whatever.
That was really cool. The screen lagged at the point where you left the speech bubble. So it looked like you left the speech bubble and then ran out of it, leaving a cloud of smoke behind you. But it was the thing that you just said.
Gotta go fast.
So, gotta go fast.
But yeah, the sound design for this game is actually like really impressive for, you know, again, the N64. Maybe not as much the GameCube, but N64 is a lot. There's like 500 different sound effects. There's over 100 for just footsteps on like different terrain, and if it's raining, and you know, a bunch of stuff. Like if you're running versus walking, etc. Yeah, a lot went into this game. A lot of the sounds, like bug sounds and all that, were actually like recorded from actual bugs and like, you know, taken from actually nature.
Actually nature, yeah.
Actually nature, instead of, you know, being done in a lab. Alright, so while we're carrying, you know, a couple of $1,000s worth of money, we're gonna go quickly deposit that towards our debt. We're gonna do 2 more dupes, and then we'll be done. That'll be it. We'll have paid off our house.
Yay. Out of debt. Gooba goo. Out of debt.
That'll be us. No, we're not mailing a letter.
Don't mail the letter now.
I can't do it, CJ. It's too hard.
What'd you do?
Okay, we're going slower. Okay.
Please.
Deposit. Yes. Pay as much as I can. Alright. It's okay. Do not be stressed. The run continues.
There was a lot going on there.
There was... Listen.
Now, what happens if you did mail a letter?
I don't have a letter to mail, but I guess if I had a letter to mail, she would take the letter, and it would go out to the villager the next day.
Thank you.
And the villager would tell me that they loved my letter. Because I would write capital A period space, capital A period space, capital A period space.
And that is the most they can read, right?
I need stuff for Nook to sell to. Yeah, that's the most they can read. It's optimal.
Well, there's some parrots out there that can read more than that.
That's true. It should be in this game.
This game would be considered one of the greatest of all time. It'd be better than Mario Kart if it just had parrots. Do you know this joke that I'm making?
Yes. Nick Kart Racers
Nick Kart Racers 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Nick Kart Racers 3 was really bad, and that broke my heart.
Dang, because 2 was so good?
Well, 1 was terrible.
Right.
2 fixed every problem with 1. And then 3 went backwards.
Oh, dang.
But you know what it did have?
Voice acting?
It actually had fucking voice acting.
There you go, and that's all it needed.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a third one. It's really bad. I've been waiting for it to go on sale so that I can try it.
Oh, I think I saw it on sale the other day. I'll send you a link.
Ooh. I want to pay like $10 for it. I don't want to pay like more than $10 for that
Understandable.
game. I paid $20 for Garfield Kart. I'm not making that mistake again.
All right, so I mentioned this book I'm reading. If you guys are interested in it, it is very well written. It's about 200 pages long, so it's not too long. And I'm enjoying it a lot, so I would recommend it. It is called Animal Crossing. It's from a little series called Boss Fight Books, and is written by Kelsey Lewin, who...
Shout out to Kelsey.
Yeah, I think she was a video game journalist for a time. It probably says on the back, but I can't read that right now. And yeah, really well written. I would recommend it. It's an entire series of books. There are like 33 written by different authors. And I have that one, Earthbound, and Final Fantasy V.
Oh, interesting. Very nice. Siesta.
Yeah. All right, what's time looking like? It's probably atrocious because
We're at 44:10.
oh, we're gonna be slightly underestimated, but no, we're gonna be slightly overestimated, but not by much.
Well, you had me going in the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
We just gotta run. Alright, time, by the way, ends when we exit the post office and we do a fist bump in the air. It ends when we punch the air. As a sort of last oomph. So one thing that did not come back in other games, as far as I remember, is what you get after you pay off the house. I don't know if you know this, CJ?
Not sure. No, I don't think so.
Maybe we'll have a little bonus thing.
Okay, I'm into bonus.
Alright, ready, on time, and... That's time. We're completely debt-free. If we go to Nook, he'll congratulate us. I think we need to go to Nook to see the little bonus thing. It'll just take an extra minute, but that's fine.
The game, the feed kind of went blurry on the fist bump, and it made it cool looking.
Oh, there you
like
go.
Green.
All right.
Yeah, it was like looking through Jello.
Incredible. Yeah, so you can't build a house bigger than the one we have. Alright, we'll save the game to advance the date to show off this cool thing, and then that'll be it for me.
All right. Well, I definitely want to see what we get for our house. What do we get? You know? The world may never know.
The world, we're about to. You forgot what you're getting? There's no way. You never forget this. You see it and you're like, amazing. Especially if you've done it in like, you know, longer than 45 minutes. Probably in like half a year or something. But yeah, this was pretty much it for the mystery game. No!
Philibert!
Animalies, come on. That was pretty much it for the mystery game. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was a lot easier than the last one I did, but it is what it is.
Yeah!
I think this game is cool.
Alright, I'm ready to see what we get.
Alright, so it's actually not in our house. Not outside our house either. Well, I guess it is outside our house. But we get a giant statue to commemorate us. In gold.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's where all the money went.
That's where all the money went. He took your entire thing. He felt bad, so he just makes you a golden statue.
All right. Well, That's one way to do it.
There you
well,
go.
thank you, Quo. This is the end of your SDAT.
That is the end.
Yeah, but thank you. It was nice having you back, obviously. Welcome back anytime. You know, your mystery games have always paid off, and yeah. Do you have anything you want to say before we go back to intermission?
No. Check out the book that I mentioned, Boss Fight Books. Animal Crossing is a cool game. If you want to learn it, there's a Discord, but you guys already know that. Follow the Pokemon Snapbot. There you go. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who donated. Thank you for Quo for this great run. We're gonna take a quick pause for the cause. We're gonna get set up for our next run, which is Untitled Goose Game, and I believe we met the incentive for that. So we're gonna get all main tasks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.